Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. I'm joined by fellow old brick, Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Oh, bet. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're talking about this off air for a second, and Paul said something that really
But
just hit hard,
we're
like
15 years away
really
from being
hard.
50, and that kind of broke the both of us. So, um,
Yes. And we don't have hard rock abs like The Rock.
in fact, there's
There is
nothing.
no abs.
There's no abs. All right, so on that really depressing note, we're going to talk about things in games that are also quite depressing, which is the fact that new games aren't really selling. In favor, or certainly in terms of playtime, 60% of gameplay over the course of 2023, and of course we don't have a full year under our belts for 2024, so 2023 data is what we've got. 60% of all game time in 2023 was spent on games that are 6 or more years older. So I guess for context for people, that's the likes of Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. The Sims even appeared in the PC list, like The Sims 4 appeared in the PC list. GTA 5, Rocket League, League of Legends. Most of these are coming from the PC list. I'm sure they're skewing it a little bit because you do have things like League of Legends and World of Warcraft and those things that would kind of blow the numbers out a little bit. But even as I look across to some of the other, like to the consoles themselves, you're seeing the same names. You're seeing Fortnite, you're seeing GTA, you're seeing like Minecraft, you're seeing Roblox, Rocket League. The same kind of core five are there. The orders look a little bit different. There's some other little differences, but 60% of game time came from the types of games that I was just mentioning there. That are all 6 or more years old. How does that make you feel when you kind of think about, I guess, the number of games that are coming out on a yearly basis, and yet the majority of the game time comes from this same kind of half a dozen?
Well, there is a reason why they're probably so popular. There's one key thing with all those 6 games that have in common. They are
What's it?
free.
Are they all free? Or most of them are free, yeah.
Most are free. The Sims 4
Fortnite,
is
yes.
free.
Roblox, I don't know.
Is free,
See,
yes. Free to play, I should say.
Minecraft would
Free to
be.
play, yes.
CSGO is in
Counter
there.
Strike,
I think that is as well.
yes.
Sims 4 is basically free. It's that
Yes,
cheap.
unless you
League
purchased
of
it
Legends,
like many
yeah.
years ago, you're an
GTA
idiot.
5 is kind of the exception.
Well, that depends. Is the multiplayer free?
Yeah, but
But,
you have to own the game. It's
but
not a
also
separate
too,
download.
but GTA 5 for the last, let's just say, 10 years has only been what, 20, $30?
Well,
So
yeah.
it's a cheap game.
And that's because, little 12y who gets banned for calling someone horrible names on the internet needs to be able to buy another copy at a reasonable price, and mum and dad won't buy it for them if it costs 100, but if it costs another 20, no worries. We'll buy a new copy
Oh, mum, I lost my
on your new
GTA.
PSN account that you've had to start up.
Oh, mum, I lost my GTA 5 game again.
Sorry, I called someone a cuck on the internet, and and Xbox destroyed my account.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
sure that's probably not even enough to get ripped off the internet, but it's getting close. Um, so yeah, I mean the majority of games are coming from that. A little bit of extra trivia before we really, I guess, kind of wade into it. The average number of years on the market for the different platforms there. So when it comes to PC, the average age of all these games 9.6 years old. The average age of the games that are in the top 10 on PS5 7.4 years old. So that's older than the console itself. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, it doesn't say PS5. It's PlayStation, more broadly.
PlayStation, okay.
Xbox 7.2 years, and Switch is the most impressive one, 3.9 years. But even that's probably blown out of whack by Fortnite at the top of the list. Minecraft's in at number 5.
Who's playing
Um,
Fortnite on the Switch? That's just
oh, mate, there's still lots.
bots. Plenty of bots.
Maybe a bit of that. No, you're not going to get bots on the Switch side. They'll all come from PC. But at least when it comes to the Switch and checking our opinions of Tears of the Kingdom at the door, that's number 2. Mario Brothers Wonder's number 3. Mario Kart 8 is there, but I guess that actually fits in the more than 6 years old category. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is 6. Fall Guys is at 7. Animal Crossing's at 8. Hogwarts Legacy's 9. Smash Brothers is 10. Although Smash Brothers might be close to 6 years old now. Ultimate.
Pushing it.
It's getting close. Yeah. I think it was maybe a 2018 game, so this might be its 6th year. Yeah, the Switch is doing the best in that regard. Almost half the other two consoles, and well below the average age of the PC games. And we expect PC to kind of be blown out because there's all the retro games and those sorts of things you can access there that kind of skew the numbers a bit. Again, whether it's old MMOs, any of those MOBAs and those sorts of games that have been kicking for a long time, that's the right platform for those sorts of things. But what does it say for maybe some of the new games that are coming out that can't seem to? I mean, Starfield's in there. That's something. Like Starfield's in the Xbox list. Came in at number 8. That's something as a new 2024 release. In fact, of the whole list, the 2024 releases are like EA Sports FC 24 on PlayStation, and that's an annualized sports game. So make of that whatever you want. On PlayStation, that's the only 2024 game. On the Xbox, it's Starfield. And then on Switch, it's Mario Brothers Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, and Hogwarts.
On the Switch?
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Switch version of Hogwarts...
That's the interesting one, because they came out way later. Way later than the Xbox and PlayStation version.
To be fair, it came in at number 9, and it doesn't have Call of Duty, GTA... Roblox,
no competition.
Rocket League, yeah, all those ones that kind of filled a lot of the top 4 or 5 spots aren't a factor on the Switch, so that makes it a little bit easier for a few to sneak in at the end. I'd imagine on PlayStation in particular, Hogwarts is probably like number 11, number 12, something like that. So, how do we get more new release games featuring in lists like this? Can Helldivers feature in this list going into next year as a 2024 title that's actually kind of lighting it up at the moment?
Yes. And there's one reason why Helldivers 2 will be in there. Because the reason why you would say games nowadays don't get in the top 10 is for one simple reason. The games themselves are not bad. They're good games, great games. However, the price of the games would turn people away. Because if you look nowadays, I went into a store the other day. We won't name names because it's not their fault. Not their fault. You look at a game and go, oh yeah, how much is that? And you see $125 and you just go, no. Helldivers 2, $60. Bargain. Yes, I'll buy that. Thank you very much.
And it's got word of mouth behind it as well.
And also you see all the funny clips and everything about Helldivers 2 and you go, you know what? I want to play this game. For Super Earth. And that is why, because yes, Spider-Man 2, it is a great game, but it's $125 and it really just, you look at it and go, no. And the thing with Starfield as well, probably the reason why it was in at number 8 was this thing called Games Pass.
That helps. Which
helps. Because if it wasn't on Games Pass, I think it'd be in the abyss somewhere because everyone would be looking at it and go, Outer Worlds 2 is so much better.
Yeah, look, there could be a bit of that.
And also to $125, and people are just going to go, no, thank you. Hard pass.
Look, if we focus on the PC numbers, Helldivers still, like its 24-hour peak is 269,000 people.
Still.
So it's still rocking. Yeah, it hasn't even fallen below half of its peak yet.
That's amazing.
So they're retaining their crowd, and again, that's just PC. That's not factoring in the PlayStation people where... from what I hear, it sounds like it's about a 60-40 split PC to PS5 sort of sales. Unsurprising, the PC community have kind of picked this one up because it really does kind of fit the PC mold. But yeah, absolutely. With you, I think Helldivers kind of features on that list come the end of the year, maybe on PlayStation and PC, which would be awesome. I could see Palworld featuring on that list.
There's another one,
but I could also see it missing out because I think I'll check
it went up very quickly and then sort of died off because it's not an overly long game. There's not many. What the hell are those things called in Palworld?
Pals?
Palworlians? Pals? Oh, Pal. That makes more sense. You catch them all. You got nothing else to do.
Like it's having a little surge this current weekend, kind of seemingly out of nowhere, but it's been trailing away since its launch. Obviously, it launched with over 2 million people playing concurrently at one point. It's now tracking at 92,000 right now, which is still a damn good number. And again, maybe that's enough to actually feature in the list come the end of the year. But and maybe that crazy sort of start is enough to carry it through, at the very least on PC, if not Xbox. But Xbox could also get there because of Game Pass. I don't know. I can't think of other games this year that would be able to do something like that. There might be some new release Nintendo games, especially if there's a a big hitter late in the year that we don't know about yet that maybe can come through simply because the competition's not there. But otherwise, I could see the Nintendo list not changing a lot. I can't really think of anything that's out now or coming soon that's going to knock these off, unless it's kind of live service stuff like a Helldivers that comes through, or to your point before, it's some free to play game that kind of explodes out of nowhere, because that's what obviously is when it comes to this sort of stuff, that's obviously going to have the biggest impact, is the fact that anyone can just go out and buy it. That Balatro, which is not, I don't think it's free. Have you heard of Balatro yet?
No.
It's like this. Balatro? It's a card game, like very much like poker. But it's just, and I'll try and check its.
Do you use real money? That sounds like a scam.
No. It's still
scam.
Still all no scam. Still just a video game.
Oh
no, its peak is like 37,000. It's one of those ones that seems to have gotten a lot of legs within the communities, but maybe isn't necessarily tracking when it comes to crazy number of people playing at once. But whatever. I guess there's no multiplayer to it, so it's a roguelike poker game, for what it's worth, with a whole bunch of other little aspects to it. It's quite cool from all reports. I can't really see anything nowadays other than these crazy big, like Spider-Man didn't make the list. Spider-Man 2 didn't make the list from last year, which I guess surprises me a little bit. It outsold Tears of the Kingdom, at least.
But how many hours
at the last update?
But how many hours did people play Tears of the Kingdom for? Because Spider-Man 2 is not a longish game.
Yeah, it's probably, most people probably 20 to 25 with Spider-Man, whereas Tears of the Kingdom players could be playing 50.
A shitload.
Maybe more.
Well, even more than that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's obviously people who put way more in than that, but I think maybe your average might be 40 to 50. You get some people who will just finish it, people who won't finish it at all, and then those who go absolutely nuts with it and try and do everything. Do they still do Korok seeds in it? I don't know, but if they do, that'll be a feature.
Fire dicks they can make.
Well, yeah, and then there's that side of it, like people just making stuff for content. And fire dicks are certainly good content.
Just for a laugh, why not? Throw those bloody, what are they called? The things that start with K?
The Koroks.
The Korok things. Yeah, throw them into the river and let them go down the stream. You can do that. I saw that somebody do that. Good. Pick them up and throw it in the water. And I was yelling out for help, and I found that funny, even though I've never played the game. Maybe I will this year. Maybe not, because Nintendo games, for some reason, are far more cheaper than your PS5 or Xbox games.
I mean, if you buy them day one, whereas otherwise PlayStation and Xbox games will go down in price, whereas Nintendo ones...
Nintendo will not, yes.
They don't drop. The only way you get a discount for those is if the retailer decides to drop the price, but Nintendo, they're not dropping the price.
No.
So, there was Wii U games not long before they, completely discontinued it that were still going for full price. So, and it never dropped along the way. So, it's kind of crazy what Nintendo does there, but they can get away with it. They seem to just be an exception to the rule all the time. Yeah, I honestly can't see anything that's going to come out unless it's an annualized sports game or Helldivers or some other kind of free-to-play game. I just can't see anything cracking this list at the moment because I don't see Fortnite dropping off in any hurry. Fortnite is top of the list for all 4 platforms. GTA 5 will remain there until GTA 6 comes out, and even then I could still see GTA 5 potentially kicking around a little bit just through people who haven't made the jump and are maybe still super invested in their GTA Online world. Call of Duty from this year will feature, but yeah, I think it'll be the same old every year. And it kind of sucks because I want to see, we see all these people getting laid off and those sort of things, and we hear about all this money coming into the industry, but it's clear that the money coming into the industry is going towards about 5 or 6 groups, and that's about it for the most part. And then the other 40% is divided amongst everyone else in terms of game time, which would then net out with transactions, whether it's upfront purchases or microtransactions or whatever. So, we're in a shitty spot. It's any wonder why developers are going bust and publishers are laying off people and all that sort of stuff.
Or they're moving away from single player games into server games because That's where all the people are playing, and it sucks. Stop it. Don't
Yeah,
make
pretty
me
much.
come around to your house and smack you
Go
with your GTA 5 copy that you lost, supposedly lost.
go and
I'll slap you.
go and play Metroid Prime Remastered. It's good for you to put hair on your chest. And if you don't want hair on your chest,
Go
well,
play that.
that's
Go
fine
play
too.
that Nintendo Doctor game, Brain Training. That's the one. Go play
Yeah,
that.
it'd be good for you. Yeah. Anyway, I won't
Learn
make
how
that
to
comment.
cheat. That's what you should do.
Um, there's not a lot, I guess, too much to be said here. Any other thoughts at all, though, on the numbers and kind of what they're telling us?
It sucks, but you can kind of understand as well because we are in a so-called cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
So games are probably not on the agenda, especially games that you have to pay for, where you can just sit down, relax, and play a game you don't necessarily have to pay for.
Yeah.
Unless you actually pay money for some reason just to look cool.
And we can
That's
say what we
fucked up.
want about the average age of gamers going up, all that sort of thing, but the stuff that kind of charts for the most part is driven by teens. And teens are going off and playing Fortnite. They're playing Call of Duty. They're playing it's the same old things that we might have moved away from for the most part. But they're the ones that kind of pump the crazy hours. They're the ones that pump the insane amounts of money, or get their parents to pump the insane amounts of money, or steal their parents' credit cards.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Oh,
So you can kind of see how and why it's happening. So I guess we just need to kill off the next generation.
just like smoking. They're banning smoking for people who were born in, 2009? Let's do that for gamers. If you're born in 2009, no PlayStation for you.
Yeah.
No Fortnite for you.
No. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing my bit.
Who did
Some people might have seen my tweet during the week that my son finished World 1-1 of Super Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers, the other day. Well, the Super Mario All Stars version, so I guess the remastered version of it. But
Still fair effort.
yeah, he finished 1-1 and he's having a crack. He's having a decent crack at 1-2. His biggest problem is that he's just instinctively holding the right button down and just running and jumping the whole time. Like he hasn't
can't do
quite
that.
learnt the discipline to just stop.
You'll stop. Learn to stop.
Don't worry, mate. You're not a 5-year-old speedrunner. You're just trying to get through.
But somehow 5-year-olds can somehow break the game without even trying. I don't know. I scratch my head at that sometimes. Like some 5-year-olds, like, oh, I broke the game, Dad. And you go, how'd you do it? I don't know. And then you try and do it yourself, and you're like, how the
can't.
hell did he do that? Or did they do that? And you just scratch your head in confusion trying to figure out how they broke it because kids don't think. Not in a bad way. It's just they just do it instead of thinking.
Pretty much.
Like where we just actually have to, or we think and just not do.
He's got
And
first
think too
place at
hard.
every cup at 50cc in Mario Kart 8.
That's
I
is
get,
very impressive.
which I guess like Mario Kart 8 is pretty generous in terms of how it pulls you back onto the track and whatnot. But
Yes, but
it's still decent effort for a 5-year-old who's
Oh,
barely been
well,
playing video
say-
games. Only started
well,
playing
say-
once he turned 5. I didn't let him play anything before that.
Maybe you should get him onto Super Mario Kart and let him see him suffer.
Just,
There is no
if he gets a bit
assist.
carried away, like, here you go, mate. Well, that's why I threw
okay.
Mario Brothers at him. So now he's kind of
there you
getting
go.
smashed a little bit. But he'll learn. He'll get there. And before we know it, he'll be exactly what you just described, where he's just doing things that we can't possibly even imagine. He'll beat Dark Souls blindfolded, and I'll be gently crying in the corner. Well,
Finish it in 4 hours, and then you're scratching, going, "How did you do it in 4 hours?" And you know what his response will be? I don't know.
one day we'll be hell diving together. Anyway, we'll wrap things up there.
And if you don't like what he's doing, just drop a pod on his body.
Yeah, friendly
go,
fire's gonna be the best in this case. So he's getting a bit too good. Shoot him in the back of the head. In the game, people.
Not in real life. Jeez,
Jesus.
come on. Like, jeez. If people thought that, like, oh, we can't do that. I'm like, yes, of course you can't do that.
Yeah.
But in the game,
Just got to make sure that these things
on.
got to be documented properly for, well, in case anyone uses evidence, tries to get some evidence to throw in my face at some point. Anyway, we'll wrap this episode up there. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Whole bunch of awesome content on the YouTube channel. Go check that stuff out, from full videos to shorts. Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2eu, kicking a few bucks, lower tiers, early access, higher tiers, multi-episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter, Matto.
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week.